Venice is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and yet so many people come here and end up hating it. They say it's overcrowded, overrated, but the truth is, it's the way people do Venice that is the problem.
Oh wow.
This is our third time visiting Venice. We're going to show you where to go, where to eat, and also the one big mistake that almost ruined our previous trip to Venice. This is Venice in just one day. If you want to see the real Venice, you have to earn it. Right now it's 7 a.m. We just exited the main train station. Look at this, right off the bat. You've got this incredible view of the Venice Grand Canal without the crowds. Just a couple locals getting ready for their day. You've got the beautiful soft light on all these incredible buildings, and most people never get to see it like this because they only leave their hotel at like 10 a.m.
There are no roads in Venice. This Grand Canal is like the city's main highway, and everything is a boat here. That's the police right there. Even like ambulances, Amazon delivery, all on the water. It's crazy.
We're on a water bus, and it is such an incredible way to see like a beautiful small slice of Venice. Get to cruise past all these beautiful buildings that are right on the water side. Venice was born out of desperation. Over 1500 years ago, refugees fleeing a barbarian invasion landed in a swamp, just mud and water as far as the eye could see, and they did the unthinkable. They drove millions of wooden poles into the swamp by hand and built a city on top. It shouldn't have worked, but it did, and somehow it's still standing today. This water bus is taking us to the most famous square in the city. So we're now at the famous San Marco Square, which is where some of the most beautiful buildings in all of Venice are located. Behind me you have the beautiful St. Mark's Cathedral. Next to that, the Campanile, this pretty big clock tower that we're not going to be able to climb today, but we are going to do later, the Doge's Palace. Because this is the lowest point in all of Venice, several times a year this whole square just floods. It becomes like one giant swimming pool.
It's 8 a.m. I just love how empty it is because it can be very different sometimes.
You do not want to be here on one of the days when the big cruise ships carrying thousands of tourists arrive here in Venice. We had that happen on one of our last visits. It was a disaster.
You can just Google the cruise ship schedule. Some days there's up to 4 cruise ships, 7,000 people on top of the usual tourist crowds that's already here. But we've actually found a local breakfast spot with a perfect view. So we're gonna take you there right now. For breakfast, we have come to the Naick bakery. It started off as like a family-run bakery, but now they're kind of like a small local chain with 4 or 5 places. Everything inside just looks good. I just wanted to order everything. We have the typical Italian breakfast. Cappuccino. This is a cornetto type of croissant topped with almonds. Oh wow. The best croissant I've had in all of Italy.
We also have the maritoso, the cannoli, everything we love about Italy.
And the best thing is that all of this together was $15.
So the plan for the rest of this morning, we're gonna go to the Doge's Palace, which is right here. We're gonna go to a great restaurant for lunch and of course do the gondola ride. But first, the Doge's Palace is the most popular site in all of Venice. You have to get your tickets for this in advance because they often sell out. We got our ticket on Get Your Guide. It includes skip the line access. So if it's busy and there's a queue, you can just skip it, walk right in, and you won't lose time waiting in line. The truth is, most of the people who visit the Doge's Palace have no idea what this place really was. Sure, it's stunning, picture perfect, but behind the marble and gold, this building ran an empire. A ruthless one. For over 1,000 years, Venice wasn't just a city, it was a superpower. A republic that ruled the seas and became filthy rich doing it. And the Doge was the man in charge. It's easy to be impressed by the grandeur of these rooms, these decorations, all the gold, the lavish paintings. But there's also really a dark side to the Doge's Palace. There's a prison and even a torture chamber. Apparently in the torture chamber, before they made people go in, they would make them wait in pure darkness. And they hired paid actors to make like sounds of screaming and agony. So the people who would be waiting would be like, oh my god, what the heck, I awaits me in that little room.
After the people had confessed to their horrible crimes, they were taken across the Bridge of Sighs, which is where we're right here now. It goes to the prison, and here they would catch their last glimpse of the outside world through a small window, and they would sigh before spending the rest of their lives in a dark, deep dungeon.
It is said that if you take the gondola ride, kiss your partner right underneath the bridge, as the big clock on St. Mark's Square strikes, you'll be in love forever instead of imprisoned forever, which is a lot better.
I don't know. For hundreds of years, there were actually no bridges here in Venice, just canals. And if you wanted to go from one section to the other, you had to wade through on horseback. And if you only had money for a pony, then you were pretty much screwed. Then they started building bridges out of wood, but they kept burning down. They got really sick of it, so they made bridges out of stone. This is the Rialto Bridge, which is the most famous one and also my favorite.
It also has a middle corridor where there's 24 shops. It's mostly jewelries and like touristy trinkets. It's crazy to think when you walk around here in Venice that all of this was built on top of the water. They couldn't use cement in the buildings, but they had to use a specific kind of glue that was lighter and more flexible so the buildings could kind of move. If you go to the top of the bridge here, you have a beautiful view across the canal with the gondolas and all the boats. It is getting pretty busy though, because it's almost noon and it seems everyone is out and about. But this afternoon we're going to show you some spots that we're going to have all to ourselves.
I was reading a bunch of things about the food in Venice. I saw a lot of people mention don't go to Venice for the food. Someone even said we dined at 7 restaurants and they were all like mediocre. I thought that can't be. So I did hours and hours of research. So we're going to show you 2 great restaurants for lunch. But I have to tell you, like, Venetian food is a bit different from the usual Italian food. In Venice, the main dishes are not pasta and pizza. Wood-fired pizza ovens are even illegal here due to the fire hazard. We've come to Bar El Arco, where they have these, which are called cicchetti, the quintessential dish of Venice. Small pieces of bread topped with meat, cheese. We have a fish spread made out of cod. This one is with cheese, mushroom and truffle.
Ooh.
This one is locally called tuna. This one is shrimp.
Is that raw shrimp?
Yeah. Cheers.
This is like a small hole-in-the-wall spot. They barely have any room inside. They're kind of tucked away in the alleyways here.
These cicchetti, you can find these everywhere in Venice. But this place is kind of known to have like the good stuff.
This one is a little bit weird though. They made it nice and colorful with like the pickle or whatever this is, onion, but raw shrimp. Well, I'll be damned. That's good. We're gonna go to one more spot because that was our appetizer. Now we're gonna have our main course. What you wanna make sure of though is that you don't go to the places that have like pictures of food on their menu. Same thing if the people are trying to usher you in. It means they don't have a lot of customers because their food isn't that great. Restaurant 2. My main course, a risotto with fish, with seafood. But oh my god, whatever that is that Naick has.
Pasta with gambetti, large prawns and a spicy tomato sauce. It looks and just smells amazing. I really love seafood. Quick bite of the pasta. It's incredible how they got so much flavor in that tomato sauce. Slightly spicy. I think they even put some fish stock in there. But now these are the prawns on the inside. Looks so good.
The thing that so often hits me when I order a risotto at a restaurant is it always kind of looks like someone already ate it. Some shrimpiness and some mussels. It is delicious. Now I know you can spend a lot more than one day in Venice, 2 or 3 days, easy. But we only have 24 hours and yet we want to do the best stuff. And one of the best things to do when you come to Venice is ride a Venetian gondola.
There's actually 2 different options to do this. Either you can arrange everything by yourself. You have to go look for a spot where the gondoliers can stop, see if there's one there. But it's a little bit complicated. The second option you have is what we've chosen now, is just to book a gondola ride online. We booked ours on Get Your Guide. It's 39 euros per person, so it's a little bit cheaper even than booking a private gondola. Get Your Guide is a platform where you can book tours, tickets and activities all around the world. And the best thing is that you can see the reviews before you book. So a big one with thousands and thousands of good reviews. You just go to the meeting point, there's a guide that takes you to the gondola area. You don't have to wait for one.
really like how quiet it gets once you get into the gondola, because when you're out walking around in Venice, people are trying to sell you stuff and there's tours around you and there's seagulls. But as soon as you get like down in the gondola and this close to the water, there's almost no sounds. Gondolas are handcrafted from 8 types of wood, perfectly balanced to glide through canals that sometimes are only about 3 feet deep. And buying one can cost up to $50,000. Today, only around 400 licensed gondoliers remain in Venice, most of whom inherit the job from their fathers.
Now we're a bit away from the little small channels and now we are in the main channel.
Grand Canal.
Grand Canal, you can see some palaces here.
I think if you really want a private gondola, it's probably still best to arrange things by yourself if you want to have the boat all to yourself. But if, like us, you just want to arrange things efficiently and not have to start faffing about with looking for a gondola and a gondolieri and not knowing the reviews, etc., etc., book the one we booked with Get Your Guide. I'll put all the links to the stuff that we booked in Venice with Get Your Guide in the description box below. So we're going to show you a couple of the hidden gems, a little bit of the charm of Venice when you get away from the main crowds.
My personal favorite part, actually.
Look at this beautiful little campiello that they have here, which is a small square. At the end of this, you have one of the most charming bookstores I've ever seen in the entire world. This bookstore is called Libreria Acqua Alta, which roughly translates to Library of the High Water. The goal is to give an accurate representation of what Venice is like if you translate it all into books. They actually even have a gondola. It's kind of the Venetian alternative to a bookshelf, and I even read that when it's high water, when the tide comes in a few times a year, this bookstore actually floods on the inside as well.
Nothing's better than gelato in Italy. We found this quaint little square where there's a lot of locals, children playing. We've got different churches. Even like, I mean, how cool does this hospital look? Have you ever seen?
Is it a hospital? I thought it was a church. It's like right next to the canals and everything.
You come across these little gems and you're just like, whoa, the world is just really cool.
It feels like you're just walking into a normal Italian neighborhood, I guess, kind of. I love this part of Venice. Unbelievably charming.
Hey, I'm being robbed. Help, police.
If you want to come here, this is called the Canna Reggio neighborhood, right there. Highly recommend it. The Aperol Spritz that we just had, €6.50 for one glass. Usually it's like 9 or 10. Come here. Like screw the rest of Venice, just come here.
This used to be a theater, but now they've turned it into a supermarket. Let's have a look. Look at this, this is incredible. I thought they kept like a little bit of the ceiling maybe, but they kept the entire walls and even part of the seating area and the balcony over here. This is so cool. Can you imagine? This is now a supermarket.
Yeah, and this isn't like a super high-end specialty store or something. This is the equivalent in Europe of a Walmart being inside a theater. One thing we actually forgot to mention so far, which is really important, is that if you come to Venice, since a few years ago, they charge a tax to every tourist that enters the city. If you're staying in a hotel overnight, this will be included in the price of your hotel. It's about €10 per person per day that you come to Venice. But if you pay more than a couple days in advance, you can do this online, it's only €5.
And it's not every day, it's only a specific day. I think it's usually like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you're coming here on a Monday like us, you pay 0 tourist tax.
So we got to our restaurant for dinner. I'll be honest, when I saw the bread basket, I was kind of disappointed. It's the smallest basket of carbs I've ever seen in Italy. But then they brought us all of this. Look at it. Like, it is a seafood feast, I tell you.
So we came to this restaurant called Rio Novo. They specialize in seafood. And what is really great about it is that it's actually like quite reasonably priced. It's like a little bit of a budget place even for like seafood.
I think this is like $50 or less.
We've got some scallops here, which look absolutely amazing. We've got mixed fried fish, which is like very typical for Venice. And then we have what they call here some grilled gambetti, with type of shrimp, langoustine, buttered scallops. Everything is just better than the next thing. Wow.
Ooh. Oh, that's garlicky. That is amazing. This place is located at the edge of the city center of Venice, not too far from the main train station actually. If you want to see more of Italy, go watch our Rome food tour right here. And if you want some tips on what definitely not ever to do, if you're coming to Italy, go watch our Italy tips video here. Ciao!